We are at a Foundation Friday class. We'll be going from about 10 until 12 today. Today, we're going to be discussing probably one of the more important factors of not the business, but more important factors of how to become and and implement your top agent strategies, right? So we talked last week about people and communications. We talked about business planning and goal setting. And this is just the process to be able to build the foundation of the successful business. That's the whole point. So business planning and goal setting. If you don't have a plan and you don't know where you're headed, how do you know how long it takes to get there? It's like my simple question I ask people all the time is, how long does it take to go from here to there? And people start making things up. Well, it's just going to depend on how fast you go and depends this. But we're missing the whole point. I am here. I need to go there. First question I have to ask is, where is there? So the foundations of having a business plan and a goal set, because I know I'm going from here to there, and that's my goal. Then we start putting the plan together. Part of the plan is going to be picking a lane and knowing where we're going to focus our energies on. And then last week, we talked about people and communications, because once we have a goal, and we create a little bit of a plan, we know about how much I need to earn. If I need to earn this much, I need to talk to this many people. If I talk to this many people, I'll get this many appointments. And if I get this many appointments, I convert this many appointments and I'll have this many contracts. When I have this many contracts, I end up with this many closings, which brings me this much income. But now the big question is, now that we know that we need to talk to people, and we discussed last week about people and communications, how to connect with people in the best way, how to build rapport, how to understand personality styles, not only our own, but everybody else. Now we need to know who we're going to talk to, because that's all this business is. This business is people and communications. The minute you stop talking to people is the minute your business starts going down. And that's what happens. Most of us will find you in this business, they ride that commission roller coaster. Talk to people, got some business, yay! Stop talking to people because I have to focus on the business that I have. And then they focus on the business that they have and stop talking to people. Then all of a sudden the business that they have gets to a closing and they have no pipeline business. So they got to go back to talking to people, which now all of a sudden we're going down. And then they talk to people. Oh, well, now I got business. And we start riding the roller coaster. We need consistent lead generation activities on a daily basis. And the goal that you have is going to dictate the number of conversations that you need to have. And what we say is, in order to be successful, what you should do is become a master of your craft. How do you become a master of your craft? You commit for 90 days. Most of us give up doing something right before we become successful. So most of us start doing something, and this is where I've come up with this philosophy of a 30, 60, 90 rule about what it takes to be successful. The first 30 days, what's going to happen is you're going to talk to people, and you're going to be excited because it's real estate, it's awesome, it's new, it's exciting, it's something different. I haven't done this before. Yeah, I'm real excited. You start talking to people, and it's new, and it's exciting. It's a little challenging, but you're learning, and you're getting all this stuff in at about 2 weeks to 30 days, somewhere in that span. Because the brain's only job is to keep us safe, not happy and successful. That's the brain's only job, is to keep us safe. So it starts finding things that are challenging. It starts finding reasons why we shouldn't keep doing it. It starts making the job harder before it makes it easier, because it's easier to stay the version of ourselves that we were rather than committing to the changes that we're doing now. The committing to the changes continuously, we start finding reasons to go back to being the way we were. 2 weeks to 30 days, that's what happens. That's our breakdown or breakthrough moment. So a breakdown or breakthrough moment, you push through that breakdown or breakthrough. And when you push through that, or you break down and give up, those are your only options. So at that moment, this is when most people give up. This is when most people stop. This is when they stop putting in all of the effort and maybe only do a little bit. They think they're doing what's necessary, but they're doing what's necessary to stay comfortable, not to make and create change. So at 30 days, if you break through instead of break down and give up, if you break through, what typically happens is the brain goes, my job is to keep you safe. you're going to keep putting yourself in this position that is going to be challenging. You're going to keep putting yourself in a position where you have to talk to these people that you've never talked to before. You need to know more, do more, or learn more, pay attention more, have scripts, follow these processes. Let me start creating habits. Let me start creating focal points. Let me start finding things to make it safer and easier for you rather than giving up. So it starts finding habits and creating habits for learning, for connecting, for doing things. Starts making processes easier for you because that's all the brain's job is to keep us safe. Not happy and successful, keep us safe. So it's going to find ways to keep us safe. So now since we're doing this stuff, we're not giving up, the brain starts formulating patterns and habits for us, making it easier because we just keep going and doing it. And then the 30 to 60 days, you start creating patterns. Now you're following patterns. And at 60 to 90 days of following those patterns, we get into what I call the flow, or what you've heard of as the flow state, because it's a new pattern. It's a new habit. And now when you do that repeatedly, it becomes more second nature. The connection becomes easier. The process becomes easier. The schedule becomes easier. The phone calls become easier at 60 to 90 days, which is why if you're going to do something, you should commit for 90 days because it takes that time. Harvard did a study and it says this is how long it takes to form a habit. How long does it take to form a habit? Their study says on average 21 days, 21 to 27 days. But that's the average. The average. That means that some of them took 3 to 5 days, and some took, when you look at the study, some took 200 to 300 days. So should I just do 21 days? I got that other one for you. Should you just do 21 days, or should you do 90 days to make sure it sticks? That's the focus. That's what we're doing here. We're going to talk about what should we focus on to be able to generate and create opportunities. Because again, this business is about income generating opportunities. Jess, I see you online. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us from Pensacola. Today, we will be focusing on picking a lane. Lead generation. Without leads and without prospects and without people in your pipeline, you do not have a business. You just don't. It's just the way that it is. There's not a single closing. There's not a single commission check that was earned without a connection first, without a person first. There's not a single connection that happens without you having the reach out, without you making the phone call, without you knocking on the door, without you shaking the hand, without you doing that. That's what today is all about. It's the initial connection to be able to generate the initial outreach to be able to generate the connection, then the connection to generate that contract, and a contract to get to a closing, and a closing to a commission check. So it's always been a relationship-based business. And I've always been good with people. I like people. People like me. And I thought we would be closing deals with everyone that I knew. And that's all true, and it did start to happen. My database started with about 75 people, not bad for a newbie, especially since I only needed 23 deals to reach my goal. If you don't know how many deals you need to reach your goal, schedule some time with us so we can go through that. That's what we did 3 weeks ago, to figure out what the goal was and how many people we need to talk to. But in the first year, only one person in my database moved. 75 people, one person. Do you know what the stats are? 10%. That's what the stat shows, 10%. So what's 10% of 75? 7. So 7 people in this database should have moved. 7 should have moved. But in your database are people that you talk to, you don't talk to, you connect with, you don't connect with. People that you pay attention to, you don't pay attention to. So there's probably 7 people that moved, but he was only connected with one of them because it wasn't doing the outreach. In that first year, only one person in my database moved. I closed both sides of the deal, but it wasn't even close to my 23. I didn't realize only a few people in my sphere would move each year. I was broke and bummed out because he did not make a commitment. I still can't believe it took me so long to start prospecting. I know that prospecting word, makes me feel sick to say it. But my grandma always said that I was hard-headed. Man, we must have had the same grandmother. Once I finally started meeting new people with the sole purpose of generating leads and closing deals. Your sole purpose of connecting with people is to schedule appointments. Generating leads, closing deals. Generate a lead to schedule an appointment. When I have the appointment, then I close the appointment, get a contract, which gets me to a closing. The whole purpose, we can wrap it all up into getting appointments. That's the whole purpose of talking to people, scheduling appointments. My database grows every week by at least 15 contacts And the rule is 5 of them must have a real estate need in the next 6 months. I don't have my weekend until I hit those numbers. I closed 40 deals last year, and I'm only going up. That is the perspective that we're looking at. Lead generation, like I said, whenever your business, when your business is growing, and as much as about it's much about you, who you know, and what you know. You need to know people and you need to know things. But most people try to learn everything before they talk to people. Most of us try to learn things and know everything about the business. I need to know the contract. I don't want to sound stupid. I need to know the process because I don't want to sound stupid. The reality is you don't need to know any of those things until you have people to work with. You could know all of those things, and guess what? Every single week, what you're going to find out is, man, I don't know enough. I don't know enough to go talk to people yet. I still feel like I don't know enough. I still feel like I'm too new. I still feel like I don't have the experience. You're right. You don't. And you never will until you get the people and start working with the people. The whole point of the way that we operate is to be able to provide you with the comfort and to provide you with that certainty of once I find somebody, all I have to do is raise my hand and there's plenty of people there that'll walk me through it from start to finish. I know enough because I've went through all of the classes. I know enough because I went through the Beggins University. I know enough because I get on the trainings, but I need to talk to people because I will not have any opportunities to display what I know or the people that have my back until I talk to more people. So most people, the reason why it takes them 6 months, 8 months, or 12 months to become successful in this business, the reason why is because they wait to talk to people until they feel comfortable with or certain in their abilities to run through a contract, run through a listing. You cannot wait to do that. You have the support, you have the training, you have everything you need. So do not wait to start talking to people. You will regret it if you do, I promise.
And half of those people, they don't start getting business because they knew all that stuff. They have a realization that they haven't done anything in the first 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and they make a decision to do something is what it is. Not because they know any of that stuff. And this is the other thing with this too, is you can get ready all day long, but one of the things that's so true about real estate is things change on a daily basis. Technology changes, how things work, like all that stuff changes. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to learn everything, because guess what? Tomorrow it's something different. Tomorrow there's something new. Tomorrow there's something new. If you take all that time to get ready, you're never going to be able to help the people that you want to.
That is correct. And that's what most people do. They wait and wait and wait. And then they realize, wow, I can't believe I waited this long. Because I'll teach you the 13 pages of the contract. And the very first time you write a contract, guess what's going to happen? Help. You're going to want to walk through it with somebody. That's what's going to happen whenever you get to that point. You're going to teach you everything, and then you're still going to want to walk through it with somebody. So we're going to be there either way. So why all this matters is because you need to have active, continuous prospecting and marketing. We're going to talk about the difference between prospecting and marketing, because most of us think that marketing is prospecting, and that's the longer play. We need to make sure we're having direct conversations. And we need to take that with being the most valuable person in everybody's world. How do I become the most valuable real estate agent in their world? Well, I need to provide value to them. I need to provide important information. I need to provide connection. I need to provide things to them to show them that I have value. And that's going to increase our opportunity of having a steady and thriving business. I mean, look, the reality of it is, by the time you get somebody, it's still going to take 100 days. Like I say, it's still going to take at least 3 months for you to get a check once you have somebody that's ready to buy or sell. So, I mean, we're looking at a longer process, and the longer you wait, the longer this 100 days turns into. So it's going to take you at minimum 3 months to be able to get a paycheck, and that's if you started doing it today. Because you have to start talking to people, you have to start having the conversations, then you're going to find somebody. So let's say after a week or 2 weeks, you find somebody. Once you find them, that buyer or seller, they're going to want to look at homes. How long does the average person look at homes for? The average buyer cycle is 18 to 24 months. They start thinking they're going to buy, and by the time they get in touch with an agent, it's somewhere between 6 and 12 months. And then between 18 to 24 months is when they actually buy. So buyers search for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. We just don't know what that's going to be. So let's just say that you get lucky and after 2 weeks of prospecting, you find a buyer and that buyer starts searching and they want to find something and they find it in the first 30 days. So now you find it in 30 days, you start writing offers. You negotiate for a day or two. Sometimes right now we're negotiating for 5 days to a week. You negotiate for a week. Now you get a closing scheduled for 45 days. So it's 45 days, that's a month and a month of searching and a half a month of prospecting. That's literally 3 months right there. And then barring any delays or cancellations, even if you have somebody right now today that wants to list or buy, it's going to take 3 months to get a closing, more than likely. So let's just get all of that out of the way and start talking to people immediately so we have the best opportunity to get that income. Why? Why do we need to start focusing on somebody to talk to? Great. Well, the first thing that we want to start focusing on is your sphere. So the people who already like you, know you, and trust you, people do business with people they like, know, and trust. I've never known somebody that goes and said, oh God, I can't believe, I hate that guy. Let's go do business with him. I just have no idea what their character is like, how they do business, if they're any good. Let's go do business with them. I just don't trust them at all. Let's go do business with them. I've never known anybody to say any of that. So they do business with people they like, know, and trust. Your sphere is a group of people who already like, know, and trust you, which is why we are always going to start with the sphere. That's always the best place to start. But here's another list of the categories we're going to cover today. Places to focus to generate income. Sphere of influence, expired listings, for sale by owners, absentee owners, open houses, farming, social media. These are going to be your base of what you should start choosing on. There's other opportunities and there's other ways to get business, but this right here is going to be like your grail. This is what we're going to turn to. If we needed business right now, if you ask me and somebody says, Chris, what would you do if you needed a closing in the next, if you needed 3 closings in the next 3 months? I would double down on the top 2. The only thing I would do for the next 30 days, every day, is I would call all of my sphere as long as I could and every expired listing as long as I could until I got an appointment for a buyer or seller on either one of them. Even expired listings, I'd get a buyer because sometimes that expired listing wants to lease their home out and they're going to go buy something. So for me, that's what I would do. I would double down on those. Jimmy, what would you do if you had to get business in the next 3 months?
Go directly to my sphere, and I would actually, which kind of ties into social media for me also, but not marketing, social media. Like I'm focusing on my sphere in my phone and I'm focusing on my sphere in my social media and having those conversations there. That's where I would go.
Got it. Perfect. So what are we doing for mixing together? We have to understand prospecting is where we get the business and get the opportunities up front and where we front load the business. Marketing is where we trickle the business in. So you're going to have a mix. Most of what we're going to talk about today is going to be prospecting. There is going to be a little bit of trickling in of some of the marketing because a lot of times there's things that must be done. Well, must be done is talk to people, but there's also must be dones that you're marketing to your sphere. There's must be dones that you're marketing to your farm or to your social people that are there too. So there's a lot of must be dones, but the way we get the business quicker is going through the prospecting side of things. Because this is what your timeline looks like. Now business is prospecting business. You need now business, you want business quick, prospect. That means direct conversations, reaching out to people who have real estate needs. How do we find them? Very easily, that's what we'll talk about today. How do you find and know if somebody has a direct real estate need? Marketing is going to be sometimes now business because you get perfect timing. You put some marketing out, put a just listed, put a just sold. The neighbor sees the neighbor's home that you just listed or that you just sold, gets really kind of excited about it, but you've never talked to them and you're marketing it, and then they reach out to you. You get some now business. That's kind of like the, just kind of pulling the arrow back, closing your eyes and shooting. The marketing is targeted marketing, but we just don't know if there's a real estate need there yet, and we're hoping that they get in contact with us. So marketing and prospecting, we got to have a good mixture of both of them. And then understanding what the process looks like. These are called the ABCDs. Acquire, build, close, develop. Most of us think whenever I get a lead, like this is the challenge with leads these days. You get a lead, and we're like, oh, great, lead. Talk to them. Hey, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's a crappy lead. They're not buying now. They're not buying for 12 months. He was just asking a simple question. He didn't care. He wasn't trying to buy it. He wasn't this. We need to follow this process with every lead that comes in. We need to acquire the lead, find out how we get the lead, generate the lead, not just sit and wait for it. We need to build the relationship regardless if the person is ready right now or not. We continue to build the relationship because they called for a reason. They spoke to us for a reason. They stayed on the phone for a reason. We build the relationship. I'm not calling for a buyer or a seller. I'm calling for an appointment to see if I can provide enough value to you so I can be your trusted real estate advisor from here moving forward. Whether you're buying now, 12 months from now, 2 years from now, I want to be valuable to you, so I'm going to build the relationship. And then the close for the business. When they are ready, I'm the one who's going to be in contact with them. They will be aware of who I am, that I'm their real estate agent because I stayed in contact and built the relationship over time through direct phone calls, social media, emails, text messages, seeing my listings, making sure that I'm in front of them wherever they are, and then develop. Once you get past closing, now we just develop those connections. Continue, or if they don't buy, you continue to develop those connections. Again, acquiring, making sure that we're making as many contacts as possible. We need to find the people. Building the relationship, establish, nurture, work through those relationships, communicate, provide value, be the most valuable resource. Make sure they are always aware of you. Awareness is the key. Awareness is the key. We need to be the one that when real estate becomes a need for them, we are the people they think about. And it doesn't happen from one touch point. It happens from continuous follow-up, connection, drops, drips, emails, social, it comes from all of that. Closing. Look, if you're not using scripts, if you don't have questions that you're asking to get to that next step, that's what this is all about. And then developing. How do you develop out your connections to make sure you're doing the right things? We have some awesome tools that really help you to develop the connection with the people. So once you have them, they go into your database. So you got Moxie, your CRM, provides a lot of follow-up, provides a lot of opportunities, creates the drip campaigns, gives you ways, and reminds you when to do things so that you can stay top of mind with all of them. That's the whole point, where to go, there it is, of knowing that you have all of the resources available to you to be able to follow up, continue to build the relationship with these people. So we're going to jump in and start talking about lead sources now. If you are going to create a successful business plan, you need to start building out a successful model that has prospecting and marketing in place, no matter which avenue you choose. There's going to be a level of prospecting, there's going to be a level of marketing, and there's going to be a level of follow-up that's in between the prospecting and your marketing that keeps going. So once we get into these, we're going to start finding what that balance is. How many contacts do you get? How many follow-ups do you do? Once we get the contacts and the follow-ups, how do we remind ourselves to follow up? How do we know when to follow up? How do I get them into my campaigns? How do I do those things? Those are all resources and tools that we have available for you. So our lead source number one that we'll talk about is going to be your sphere of influence. Sphere of influence is, in my opinion, is probably the best source of opportunities for any new agent, any experienced agent. If you're an experienced agent who's been doing business forever, good, your sphere knows about you. Your sphere knows that you're the person in their database that's in real estate, but they also know other real estate agents that might become top of mind if you fail to stay in contact and stay in touch with them. Any of your new agents, your sphere of influence are the people that already like you, know you, and trust you. Why would you work with your sphere? Why would you connect with your sphere? Why would you want to talk with them? Because you already have relationships with them. They already like you, know you, and trust you. There's already an existing level of trust. You already have their contact information. You don't have to go pay a source, dig through a source, go somewhere, put addresses in, skip trace, try to find numbers. You already have them. They're in this black box right here. This little black box. If you go into your contacts page and see how many contacts you have, and you look and see how many contacts you have, and if on an iPhone, I know you go all the way to the bottom, it'll tell you how many contacts you have. I don't know how the Android works. It's somewhere in there, it tells you exactly how many contacts you have. The The stats show that 8 to 10% of the people in your sphere will move in the next year. That's just an average. 8 to 10% will move. If you have 1,000 contacts, 80 of them will move. 80 will move. You have 80 transactions sitting in your phone in the next year. Now, that's not always that person. That is a move directly connected to that person, someone who is very close to them, mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, cousin, someone that's very close to them. 8 to 10. I'm sorry, 80 of them, 8 to 10%, which if you have 1,000 people, that's 80. Let's just say that, because I hear this all the time. Well, I don't even talk to half the people in my sphere in my phone. I don't even know who some of these contacts are. Good, cut it in half, 500. I'm good with that. Let's take 500 of, you don't know 500 names that are in your phone. Let's just get rid of them. Now you got 500. What's 8 to 10% of 500? 40 to 50. So if your sphere, just your phone, this isn't your social, this isn't your neighbors, this is just in your phone, 40 to 50 transactions. Let's say that half of them you just don't talk to really much anymore and you don't have that great of a contact with you. Great, 250. I'm cutting 750 out, so you can make every excuse in the book. Now there's 250 left. What's 8 to 10% of that? 20 to 25. Okay, so 20 to 25 of them that you now have connection of some kind with. Now let's just say that you suck at connecting and you're just not good at it. And you can only get half of them. All right, now it's 10 to 12 deals. So we've cut down from 1,000 contacts to 120 of them, and now you got 10 to 12 deals that are sitting in there if you only focus on the ones that you've connected with, asking the right questions, asking them who they know, having those conversations. So we're going to build on that just a little bit more, but it's really simple. You like, know, and trust people. They like, know, and trust you for a reason. Your job is to connect with them on a daily basis, have a certain amount of connection points with them. So how many of you know somebody that is in a different business other than real estate? Every hand should go up, right? So we all know somebody. Let me close your eyes and picture one of your best friends. If you're not picturing me, Jimmy, I'm going to kick you in the nuts. So picture one of your best friends, right? Picture one of your best friends. Your best friend starts a new business, calls you and says, hey, I just started in this insurance business, just opened up this shop, just did whatever. I'd really love if you could stop down, or I'd really love if I could take 5 minutes of your time and run through a few things. I know you've already got your insurance in place. I know you already have the shirts and hats that you need for your business, whatever the business is that they're doing. I know you already have your insurance in place, but it'd really be good for me to run through this and get some practice and just kind of connect. Would you want to support them if they called you and asked for your help? Would you want to support them? I would. If one of my friends said, oh, you're in insurance? Yeah, here's my properties. Here's my car. Here's my driver's license. Run it. Tell me what you got. If I use you, I use you. If I don't, I don't. If you're as good or better than they are, I'll use you instead. They want to support your business. So every single one of the people that you have in your database is probably wanting to support your business, especially for your new people. You would trust somebody else. You would trust them to start off and help out their business, and I'm honored that you called me to ask me for help. Plus, how many of you know somebody that wants to get into real estate investing, wants to get into real estate ownership, wants to build more on the investment side, wants to get into flipping, wants to get into rentals? We all have that. We just need to be able to reach out and connect and be the person that they think of whenever real estate becomes a realization for them. Your sphere is absolute gold. Who are you going to call? Who will you call for your sphere? Your family, your friends, people in your community, people on your social sphere. Call your distant family. It doesn't matter if you don't have family here. Call them in the other state. Why? Because you can get mailbox money. Calling them and said, I've got an A-rated background check service of agents that can take care of you, wherever you are. And then you go to our relocation department and we set them up with an A-rated agent that's in that area, listing agent, buyer's agent. Let them interview for the job. Why not get an opportunity? Look, I know it's a hell of a lot better than going on Zillow and hoping you got the right person. I'm going to get you an agent who's in our database, who we refer business with back and forth, who's already shown the ability to convert those deals. Right? So what else is your sphere? Any casual acquaintance. You should be keeping and generating. Your sphere needs to grow too. Just because you have a sphere doesn't mean it doesn't get bigger and grow. You should keep 20 business cards in your pocket, 10 business cards in your pocket every day. Simple little trick for you to build your sphere. 10 business cards in your pocket every day, 20 business cards in your pocket every day. Tell your spouse, husband, wife, whoever you live with, roommates, say, do not, when I come home today and walk in the door, ask me to empty my pockets. If I have any business cards in my pocket, kick me out and tell me to go get rid of them. And then it's up to you to do the honorable thing and go talk to people and hand a business card out. Go to the grocery store, go to the gas station. When they're at the gas station, they're stuck at the pump. They're not going anywhere. Hey, that's a nice car. I drive that truck over there. It's a alt gas guzzler right now. I've always wanted or always liked these cars. How do you like the newer version? How much gas mileage does it get? Oh, yeah, it's doing good. Do you commute far? All I'm doing is connecting, trying to get over to real estate. Do you have to commute far? How far do you drive? Do you get good gas mileage on that? Oh, do you live local here? Yeah, me too. I'm right over in that area. When did you guys move into the area? Do you like that neighborhood? I'm over in that neighborhood. What made you choose that neighborhood? And then now I'm in real estate. Now I can get to the next part of that and ask other questions, or at least get some contact information. Hey, I've got some great opportunities coming up and great builder incentives, great interest rate incentives. I don't know where you're at in this world, if you're thinking of or ever thought of, but hey, here's my card. Would you mind if I just threw your name? Give them your phone. Would you mind if I just threw your name and phone number in here? Keep you updated on any of like the amazing deals that come out. I mean, if you've ever thought about investing, I've got some amazing deals that pop up. I can get you onto my VIP list. Now I have someone else to put in my database. You're trying to grow the database, and you need to find people to talk to. So again, 10 to 20 business cards in your pocket. Don't let me in the door if I come home, because not only do you have a sphere, and we talked to our sphere, and if you were in our people in communications class last week, building rapport, connection, the people you already like, you know, you and trust you in your sphere, that's great, but we need to build the sphere. You need to grow the sphere. Your sphere, they used to move every 3 to 5 years. The average person moved, every 5 to 7 years. The average person moved every 5 to 7 years. That was average. Now it's every 7 to 10. Why? Interest rates, volatility, everything. So that's what's kind of gone on recently. So it's every 7 to 10. So you need to grow the sphere, because your sphere was producing every 5 to 7. Now it's 7 to 10. So you need a few more people. We have a few more conversations, right? So your sphere, that is probably, again, probably the best. This is where every new agent should start. Your job is to start with your sphere. You need to build it. You need to get them into a database. Your job for your sphere should be sitting down every day, knowing I have 1,000 people in my sphere. I'm going to talk to X number of them every single day. And if I do that, it'll take me X number of days to get done calling all 1,000 people in my sphere. That simple. That should be the first step. I want to get through my sphere in 30 days. So 30 days, 1,000 people, do the division, pop it out. That means I need to do 333 of them. Figure out how often you need to do it. So if I want to do it 30 days, 1,000 people, this is how many people I need to talk to every single day. Right? So that's really what we should be focusing on. Get them, as you talk to them, put them into your database. Put them into your Moxie, get them onto a drip campaign, build that sphere. Because this is going to sound crazy, but with your sphere, you need approximately 40 touch points every single year with your sphere. You mean I got to call I'm going to be bugging the hell out of them. They're going to be tired of hearing from me. It's very, very simple. Think of it this way. You have a sphere. If you call them once a quarter, that's 4 connections. If you text them once a month, that's 12 more. So that's 16 connections. If you post on social once a week and they see it, that's 52 connections. Let's say they only see half of them. That's 26 connections plus the 16 you already had. That's 36, 42. We're already there. And we haven't done anything else except called once a quarter and texted them once a month and then posted on social once a week. And then they only saw half of them. But you're also going to do business. You're going to get a listing. They're going to get a just listed. They're going to get a just listed email because they're in your database, and they're going to get a just listed message. Hey, I just put this new listing on the market, or give them a call or shoot them a video text. They're going to get it just sold when it closes. So if you do 10 deals, they get 20 more touch points. It's very easy to get to 40 touch points with your sphere. It's very, 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 very easy to do that. It sounds overwhelming, but it's very easy. So we're going to start building it out. Make sure all the data that you have their email, know where they're at on social, add them on your social, know their family, know who's close, know their pets, know their kids, know what their kids do, get their birthdays, know when they purchased their home. Even if it wasn't with you, adopt them as a client for life. Not a past client, a client for life. Know what their hobbies are so that you can connect and provide value and have a stronger connection with them. This is about building relationships. How do you provide value? Again, adopt them. Know when they purchased their home. Every single year, everybody you know in your database should get a comparative market analysis. I like to call it an annual equity review. So every single person in your database gets this annual equity review once a year. Even if you're brand new into business, you don't have to sell them the home to be able to tell them what the value is. A quick annual equity review, we'll have some more info on it later on in here about what the equity review looks like. Here's what the value of your home is. Have you guys ever considered doing a upgrading, downsizing, upsizing, getting an equity line of credit, replacing the kitchen, adding a pool? You guys have some equity to do that. Send them local market statistics, get them a monthly newsletter, provide vendor lists. Who here has ever had to do work on their house, wanted to do work on their house, didn't know who to call? Put it together. We've got some resource lists that we can provide to you to help you out with people that do work for the agents in the company. Tips on buying and selling, just listed, just sold, tax information, different giveaways, client appreciations, things like that. Tons of things that you can do with your sphere to build that out. But your sphere is going to be the most important. Moxie is going to be a tool and a resource that you can use to be able to build that. You have the ability to group your contacts so you can have your close sphere, your neighbors, your people from softball, from this, from that. You can have the ones you talk to regularly, the ones that you don't talk to regularly, in-state, out-of-state. You can build out groups really easily. Moxie also gives you a suggested daily outreach. It pulls up when you log in every single day. You should log in as you talk to people. This is how many people I talk to every day. I put them into Moxie. I talk to them, put them in Moxie. Talk to them, put them in Moxie. Once you get through your database, your 1,000 people in 30 days, they're all in your database. They're all on a drip. They're all in groups. And then as you log in, it tells you who to reach out to. You haven't reached out to this person in this long. This is our suggested daily outreach to them. Make sure you connect with them. That's what it's going to ask. It does personalized drip campaigns. We have drip campaigns for you, but you can build your own drip campaigns. If you don't like the stuff that's there, build one yourself. Why reinvent the wheel, though? Automatic listing announcemements. When you put a listing up, if you connect Moxie Rise, boom, automatically. As soon as you put a listing on, hey, here's my new listing. And then like a neighborhood news, which is just market updates of what's going on in the neighborhood that they selected and they chose. Right? So we got to close too, right? So most people, the thing we miss when we're talking to our sphere is we're building the rapport and we're building out that value. We forget to ask the question. Oh, right, yeah, great catching up. Good, we'll talk soon. Click. Or the question we ask is, hey, do you know of anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest? No. Yep, you get the reflexive no. The reflexive no is what they want to give you. They want to say no. Whether they like you or not, they just want to say no because they don't want to feel like an obligation to have to help or do anything. So the question you need to be asking is, who do you know that I can help with buying or selling? I've got 2 slots open for this next month to help some buyers or sellers in the month of August. So at the end of every conversation and every connection you have, it's always, hey, who do you know that I might be able to help this next month? I've got 2 openings in the month of August to help some buyers or sellers. And I was just curious who you know that might be kind of getting into a new school zone or upsizing, downsizing, looking for an investment. Pick whichever thing like kind of resonates most with you based on the people you're talking to. And who do you know? Who do you know triggers the brain to start thinking of who do I know rather than do you know any? Nope, don't know anybody. Who do you know? Who do you? And then we remind them, who do you know that might be looking for an investment? Who do you know that, oh, I was just talking about trying to get into investing. Well, I might be. Or who do you know that might be looking to upsize? My parents were actually looking to upsize and move from here to here or do this. So we just need to ask them. It's a trigger in their brain that asks them that different question. So who do you know that I might be able to help with buying or selling in the next few months? Who do you know? Well, I'm not sure. I was talking to this person. All we're trying to do is jog the memory and jog the brain. And then as we close them, the closing is basically just figuring out where they're at. A, B, C. A, ready to go now, 1 week to 1 month. Right? They're ready to go. We're ready to get out there, get in. B, yeah, I just need to stay top of mind. They're probably like, 8 months, 12 months, maybe a little bit more. And C, yeah, we're not really creating any plans. We're not doing anything. I got to stay top of mind, so I'm going to just keep hitting them with touch points. Maybe we put them into groups that way and you move them around through your groups. But you need to be able to understand where each person is at so you know how to help with them. This is what I just talked about, your frequency, 2 to 5 touch points per month. That's 24 to 60 touch points in a year. It's very easy once you see all the ability that you have to connect with them. A lot of the ones that are already set it and forget it. I didn't even mention they get a set it and forget it email from you where you don't have to do anything other than put them onto this campaign. They get 1 email a month. There's 12 more touches that they're going to get. So then you have a monthly newsletter that we send out to you that you just have to enable and send out monthly. Very simple. There's 1 more touch point that they'll get. So it's very easy to get the touch points in to make sure you have the conversations with them. So typically what we'll want to do now is have you all do a simple little exercise. Since I'm not sure about time, we'll probably go, this is going to be your homework. So I'm going to send this out to you guys as part of your homework. You're basically just having a simple conversation with them, whether you've talked to them recently or not. Say, hey, it's Chris. I was just, you got a quick minute for me? I'd really love to chat. Yeah, that's great. Hey, the reason for my text or reason for my call, whichever one you're doing, is I just wanted to update you on what's been going on in the real estate world and some of the things that we've been working on. And, I'm sure you know that I've partnered with the number 1 Century 21 in the state of Florida. And, you know how I am. I set some really high goals for myself, and I've been out here getting to work. And I just really had one question for you. Who do you know that I might be able to help in the month of August? I've got a few openings left to help a few more people in the month of August, and I was just curious, who do you know? Who do you know I might be able to help? I'm asking for your help. I'm asking you to keep your ears open, your eyes open, your thoughts open, your social open. I'm asking for your help. And when you do that and you go through your sphere, who doesn't want to help? If any of your friends called you and asked for help, you would be more than willing to help them. Here's another one that we'll send out for you that this is more of a text message. We have the Beachmaker Autograph Collection Condo Hotel over in the beaches. A lot of people have always thought of owning a beach property, have always thought of owning an investment property. This is a simple text that says, hey, I was just thinking about you. I've got this brand new, fully furnished, income-producing beach house, and all you need is about $180K to make the purchase. We only have 12 more units left at the brand new Marriott Autograph Collection Beachmaker Resort in Madeira Beach with this crazy pre-launch incentives and prices. And it's a great chance to own a beach house for just $180K down and possibly no more than that. I'm sure like most of us, you've imagined owning a beach house. So here's your chance. Send them a link to the project, which is either going to be your website or you just send them to the Beachmaker Resort website. Let me know when we can chat about it. That's it. Simple little thing. It's just a touch point, providing value. Is everybody going to have 180 grand and want to purchase a beach house? No. Does everybody know somebody who might? Probably. And you're going to find the ones that are interested. The ones that are interested, great. The ones that aren't, great. Either way is fine. So that's our sphere. Typically, again, we do this. This is going to be your homework. Every single one of your homework is going to be to go and connect with your sphere, to make those calls to your sphere. And typically, when we do this exercise, what we would normally do when we have a room full of people like this, we would take all of you and we would give you this script. You'd go pick up the phone. You'd either send a text message or pick up the phone and call, and we would do it for 15 minutes. And out of the 30 to 50 people in the room, after 15 minutes, they come back in. We generally always have between 5 and 10 opportunities in 15 minutes of calling, 5 to 10 opportunities. The average commission check is $10,000. That's $50,000 to $100,000 just in 15 minutes. Just from sitting down and making a call. And half the time, well, I wasn't even thinking of this person, but I did it because it was an exercise and I had to do it. So I went down, I sat down, I sent the message, pick up the phone, and yeah, they told me that their neighbor, their friend, my mom, I couldn't even believe it. My aunt she knows I'm doing this, and she was already looking with somebody. She told me she's going to help, she's going to let me help her. So it's a matter of creating the conversations and moving through that. This is our best opportunity to generate business, is to go through the sphere of influence. Let's talk about lead generation number 2. We talked about Sphere. My top two would be Sphere and expired listings. I wouldn't stop until I had my deals because I know this. I know these work. I know they're there. Expired listings. What is an expired listing? An expired listing is somebody who put their home on the market and it did not sell during the term of the listing and it canceled, withdrew, came off the market, expired. That's what an expired listing is. So it's a seller who wants to sell, who hired the wrong person, the wrong strategy, the wrong price, the wrong marketing, whatever it was, and it did not sell. I don't think there's a better lead than a seller who was already on the market and was ill-advised, made wrong decisions, didn't take the right path, hire the right person, do the right thing, listen, whatever the case is. They've learned their lesson now, and they more than likely still want to sell. The stats show in the last 12 months, there was 2.6 million expired listings. 2.6 million expired listings. 1.3 million of them have already relisted. So the stats the year before that, guess what they showed? 2.5 million expired listings, 1.2 million of them had already relisted. So over the last 2 years, the stats show every 12 months, there's about 2.5 million expired listings, 2.5 to 2.6 million expired listings, and every 12 months, half of them come back on the market. Simple stats, very easy numbers. 50% likelihood that the person you're calling is going to be back on the market within 12 months. 50% likelihood. So if I was going to choose something to start with, I'm going to go to my sphere of influence, the people who like me, know me, and trust me, who I'm already connected to, and the 50% likelihood that I can get someone that's going to come on the market in the next 12 months. And they already came on the market before, learned a lot of stuff from their agent, from the market, from the feedback, from the pricing, from the professionals. They've already learned something. Now it's up to me to create the rapport and connection so they choose me. And I know when they list with me, they have a higher likelihood of selling when they hire a new agent rather than the old agent. And it's going to sell at about 1 week faster hiring a new agent than the same agent. And it typically sells a little more for a little higher price when they list with a new agent as opposed to the same agent. So all of the stats show 50% likelihood that the expired listing will come on the market in the next 12 months. 50% of them will. And they will sell faster, sell for more money. Who should you hire? The new agent. So we already know that they want to sell. That's like the biggest challenge that we have with who do I call? Somebody who already wants to sell their property. Where do I find them? I don't know. Well, yeah, right here, right? And we know that there's people who try to sell their property on their own, right? They're called for sale by owners. These people already worked with an agent. They see the value in an agent. They got disappointed by the market, by the agent. They got lied to. They got whatever happened. And I'm not talking down on agents. They could have had a great agent and the seller just sucked. You'll find that out. No big deal, but it's worth the conversation to get them going. The opportunity, you have an opportunity to show why you're different. New strategy, new pricing, new marketing, new approach, fresh approach. That's what most every expired listing is saying when they're talking to people. That's what they're looking for, right? And why for the new agent, whether you're experienced or new, why would a new agent want to go after expired listings? Well, you get practice in having conversations. You know they're going to answer at some point. You know you're going to talk to somebody at some point. You get to try out your scripts. You get to work through those scripts. You get to learn how to overcome objections really quick, and that's okay. If you don't want to screw up, call people in a neighborhood that's far away from you. Call people in an area that's an hour away. Well, I'm afraid of screwing up. I don't want to create a bad name. Good. Call people that are an hour away that are expired. If you get the listing or you get the appointment, find somebody in that area to go with you or to go and take the appointment for you. You just become the person who sets the appointment and take a referral fee if they get the deal. Hey, I have an appointment with this expired listing. I'd like to know if you wanted to set it up and take care of it from here. For a 25 or 30% referral fee, get a free mailbox money check. You get to try some marketing materials, see what works, and you get to practice sharing and tailoring your value, communicating. You get to build certainty. So expired listings, I think, This is your big opportunity right here. There are 1.3 million of them that will come on the market in the next 12 months, and we need to be the ones having the conversations with them. So how do you find them? There's only three ways to get business. Not just expires, there's only three ways to get business. You either pay for the business with your time, effort, energy to go find them, search for them, build that up. You pay for it with your time, effort, and energy. You pay for it with your money because you buy the leads, or you pay for the service to give you the leads or give you the phone numbers, or you pay a referral fee in the end because somebody else did the work, time, effort, energy, and deserves a bigger referral fee, so you pay the referral fee in the end. That's the only three ways to get business. You won't get business any other way. You're going to put your time, effort, and energy in, your money in, or pay a referral fee, put the money in the back end instead of putting it up front. So how do you find expired listings? Pay for a service. Easiest way. I'll give you the easy way. Pay for a service. Vulcan 7, ArcAgent, RedX, Mojo, any of those. Pay for it. You're going to pay $50 to $250 a month, depending on what level of service you use. Do not use dialers. Do not use dialers. Dialers are not good. They go against the TCPA, Telephone Communication Protection Act. Don't use the dialers. But if you pay for a service, you log in, you have your zip codes, you have your numbers, you just boom, 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 just start calling. Quick and easy. If you're someone who won't put the work in, I know me, I won't do it. I'll just pay for the service. Pay for the service. You don't want to pay for the service? Good, you got free options. Very easy. Go to MLS. Expired, canceled, withdrawn. Export all of them out of MLS. Export all of them. Then go to Beggins University. There is a tool called Who's Who. It's a skip tracing tool. Go one by one, grab the address, put it in there, pops out the phone number and email. I don't know what to say. Good, click the button to get a script. It'll give you a script to say. It'll give you a text script, phone script, email script, whatever you want. Now you can pick up the phone and call all those numbers. Guess what Vulcan 7, RedX, and ArcAgent, and Mojo are doing? The same thing. They're pulling all of those numbers and emails the same way you just did. You're just paying them to do the work, so you get them quicker. Very simple. How else can you get them? That's pretty much it. You're going to identify them that way. You can pull them from MLS and you can go knock on their doors. You can mail to them. Mail's going to take 7 days, 10 days to get there. By that time, 20 other agents have called them and they've already got the opportunity for the business and you're behind. Just again, remember what we said about acquiring the business. Most people think that when I call them one time, if they don't do business with me, they suck. The lead doesn't suck. Our processes suck. So it's not a one and done thing. You have to be willing to keep calling. Same thing with your sphere. You don't just call your sphere, oh, they don't want to buy or sell. All right, well, their average move every 5 to 7 years, so make sure you keep talking to them because if you want that opportunity, we don't know where they're at in their 5 to 7 year process. So just keep talking, keep talking, keep talking. And some people move sooner than that. So keep talking to them. This expired listings, it's going to be follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. New connections, follow up. New connections, follow up. New connections, follow up. New connections, follow up. How do you know if you're on the do not call list? It'll say DNC on it. And you can always scrub them against the do not call list. Again, you have to put the work in. One way or the other, you're going to put the work in. Then the other systems like Vulcan 7M, typically they have a DNC sitting next to them. All right, so that's where you get them. Get your new list daily. Guess what's also a good opportunity? The expired listings who come on the month, who come on the market within the first 12 months, I want to say it was 40% of them, 30 to 40% of them come on the market within the first 30 days. So a large portion of them are coming back on the market immediately within the first 30 days because they have to sell. So your job is to get to the ones that expired just recently, quickly. And then you still have 1.3 million of them from last year that did not come on the market. And now the market has shifted, changed, motivation has changed, processes have changed, everything, their competition has changed. What they're trying to get to or where they're trying to go has also changed. With expireds, you have to keep some type of tracking and measuring. You have to be able to track and measure. That's why I think if you go into MLS and export them, you have them in a data sheet. Now that data sheet, all you do is get rid of all the data you don't need, get their phone numbers, their emails, start connecting with them, and then set columns for weekly touch points. And you're just going to keep calling, talking, following up, and then have a column for notes, and just keep updating that hot sheet. You need to know who you're talking to. Remember, it's outreach, follow up, outreach, follow up, and don't forget, ask for the appointment. One of the big things we miss all the time is asking for an appointment. Sphere of influence, we forget to ask, who do you know that I might be able to help? I've got a few openings in August. Expired listings, when's a good time I can come by the house and just take a look and just give you some feedback and possibly some strategy, even if it helps you get the home sold on your own. Even if it helps you with the next listing and you don't hire me. I mean, it's real. What if I already had a buyer in my pipeline? What if we can come by and when's a good time I can come by and take a look at the home? So your job is to follow up and follow up and follow up. Again, we talked a little bit about the pros and cons, right? What about the new expireds, older expireds? Is there a difference? Yeah, the new expireds, there's motivated people. They're angry, they're frustrated, they're tired, they want a new, fresh approach, they need to sell now, they're gonna hire an agent immediately. If you're the one to call, you have that opportunity. And the goal is, basically your goal is to get one appointment a week. If you get your appointment on Monday or Tuesday, you decide, do I wanna take the rest of the week off? I got my appointment went well, they're gonna hire me, now I signed the contract, I don't need to work the rest of the week. If I don't want to, I got my one appointment. But why would you do that? Why not line up a few more appointments for this week and next week? So older expireds are also good too. So build it out. Find the new ones, find the old ones, create the contacts, create the follow-ups, be the most valuable agent in the world, and you have to keep the touch point. Follow-up, simple follow-up stats. The less than 1% of all sales happen on the first contact. Less than 1 to 2% of all sales happen on the second contact. You don't get into double digits. It's like 12% of sales happen on the fourth contact or more. You get into the 5 through 8 contacts, it goes from 10 or 12% and it jumps up to like 40%. 40 or 50% of all sales happen on contact 5 through 8. So the majority of your sales do not happen when you first talk to somebody. They happen on contacts number 5 through 8. So that's potentially 4, 5, 6 weeks of following up with somebody before you have the opportunity to build that rapport and connection with them where they see you as their agent and you see them as your client. But that's what the building sense is. You have to build the relationship. You have to build the value proposition. You have to have things that you can provide of value to them. Give them valuable information. Ask questions. Every single one of your scripts is going to be a series of questions. You know, I noticed your property came up as an expired listing, and I was just curious. If you can get the $800,000 you were listed at, would you still consider selling your home, or has that ship sailed? Or have you given up on that? Ask the question. Make them answer. Nobody likes to give up. So have you given up on that? No, we haven't given up. We're just taking a break. Oh, you're taking a break. Understood. How long do you guys anticipate taking this break for? Oh, we have to do some work. Got to do a little bit of work and want to get to this point. So what would be the perfect ideal time for you guys to have this house sold? Well, we'd love to have it sold last month, but we had the wrong agent, they'll just start talking and talking. Oh, okay, we wanted to have it sold last month. But when do you guys plan on getting it on the market? And if you get it on the market and get it sold moving forward, what would be that perfect timeline? Well, I mean, we have to be out of here by September or October, whatever. All asking questions. They're just questions. I'm not telling them anything. Well, how's the market? Well, the market's very, it's different from neighborhood to neighborhood. It's very micro market based right now. What I would love to do is I'd really love to give you an in-depth look into the market through my eyes and through the buyer's eyes. So the first step for me would have to be to come by and take a look at your house. When's a good time I can come by and take a look at your house? I really just want to get a feel for the color clarity of your diamond that you have. And I can't really price it or really give you some updates and everything on the market until I know where you stand in the market. So when's a good time I can come by? Every question, statement, question, confirm, question. Keep moving around, keep asking those questions. Here's some examples of some simple scripts. If you need any of these, we can share these slides with you. But it's, hey, this is Chris with, hi, John, this is Chris with Century 21 Beggins. I'm just calling because your property came up as an expired listing. I specialize in selling properties other agents failed to close. And I was curious, have you completely given up on the idea of selling that property? And then the questions, what was the original plan when you first came on the market? In a perfect world, when would be the best time to close? When you sell this home, where do you plan on moving? What would be a good time for me to stop by? Hey, is this John? Great. This is Chris, Century 21 Beggins. I was calling about the property on 123 Any Street. You still own that property or did you end up selling it? Oh, you didn't sell. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. If you were able to get the $800,000 price, would you still be interested in selling that or have you guys given up on that? Oh, how did you end up choosing the last agent that you hired when you listed it? What do you think caused it not to sell? These are all just questions. Question. When's a good time for me to come by and take a look at the property? Everything is just a series of questions. And then it's about development. We have some awesome tools for you to develop out. Send them a Moxie presentation, a Beggins marketing presentation, a 2026 Beggins marketing presentation. It just has everything about the company. It has our marketing video in there. Thank you for taking the time to interview us for the job of selling your home. Century 21 Beggins for the job of selling your home. We've obviously realized that and starts going into telling them all the reasons they should hire Century 21 Beggins inside this presentation. It's created already for you. Within 3 to 5 clicks, you can have a presentation you just send over to them. You can text it to them. You can email it to them. Very easy. You can build all of these things out. You can send them copies of listings that the brokerage has listed before. You don't have to have any business or any experience to be able to provide and show what you can and can't do. Sometimes you just need to continue to make the connections. People hire people and do business with people they like, know, and trust. It's not just about experience. We have new agents that get business all the time. Plus, if he says, well, how many homes have you sold in my neighborhood? Said, I have, just own it. I have not sold any in your neighborhood. As a matter of fact, I haven't sold any homes just yet, but my company is selling nearly 2,000 homes every single year. We have a very strong and very good pedigree. Plus, who do you think is going to work harder for your sale? Me or the guy who already has business coming in? The guy who doesn't need your paycheck. I'm the one who's going to work harder. I'm the one who's going to show up every single day because you are my only client and you get all of my attention. I will make sure that we get everything done on this. No one's going to work harder than me. Own it. I've got a great resource. This is what my company is. Let me send you the presentation, and no one is going to work harder than me. Just show up and own it with certainty. They cannot deny that. I have the experience. Do you think that my company hired me to do this job knowing what they need to do to sell 2,000 homes every year? Yes. Do you think they hired me because they know that I have the ability to create the connection and processes and implementation to make sure that we get your property sold? Yes. They hired me for a reason. They don't just hire anybody. So we need to be able to develop these out and close them. Next, here's your next source of business, for sale by owners. Your for sale by owners are people, what are we looking for? We're looking for people who want to buy or sell. Sphere of influence, it's all about the connection because they do business with people they like, know, and trust. We already have that. Now we find the ones who want to buy or sell that like, know, and trust us already. Expired listings, we know they want to sell. For sale by owners, we know they want to sell. They're on the market. They haven't hired an agent. We call for sale by owner signs help wanted signs. They already have a help wanted sign in their front yard. They've already put help wanted all over the internet, whether it's on Craigslist or Facebook or wherever, Zillow. Half of them don't do any marketing. They just put their help wanted sign in the front yard and they think it's going to sell when 98% of the people start their home search online and they're not online. They just have a sign in the yard. It just doesn't make sense. But our job is not to call and tell them stupid. Our job is to build the rapport and build the connection. So a for sale by owner is a property listed directly without the benefit of services and expertise of a professional real estate agent. This number has continually increased. 95% of sales involved an agent. Less than 5% of homes were sold for sale by owner. This number was 21% in 1985. 21% of homes were sold for sale by owner in 1985. 7% in 2021, and 6% in 2024, and 5% in 2025. Why are people hiring professionals? Because it's the right thing to do. Hire the person that this is their job and this is what they know to do. The public is putting more trust in real estate agents than they ever have to get the job done. It is a 13-page contract, plus addenda, plus this, plus that. They need someone to navigate. What do you do in this situation? What do you do with inspections? What do you do with appraisals? How do you determine loan approval? How do you determine a pre-approval from a buyer? You need a professional involved. If you have a buyer agent bringing a buyer to you, their sole job is to work for the buyer agent, not for you. You're putting yourself to a detriment. So what's their number one reason for wanting to go for sale by owner? What is the mindset? What are they thinking? Their number one reason is they don't want to pay a commission. 44% of the people say they did not want to pay a commission. The median sold price for agent-assisted homes, the median sold price, that number smack dab in the middle, half were lower, half were higher, $425,000. Versus the median of a FSBO was $360,000. So whether it's lower value homes or they don't know how to negotiate or they sell for less, because if you're trying to save the commission, what does the buyer know? Hey, they're trying to save commission. They don't want any commission. They're trying to save. So there's normally commission in there. I'm just going to take the commission off of the price because it was built into it when they bought it. You're not going to get the whole benefit. I want some of that benefit too. You're going to sell for less. That's what a buyer agent, that's what a buyer does. Even as a buyer agent, that's what we'll do. 53% of FSBOs sell to a friend, relative, or neighbor. Pretty crazy stat, right? So if 6% of all sales in 2024 were for sale by owner, 5% in 2025 were for sale by owner, half of them were to a friend, relative, or neighbor. So really only 2.5% of all home sales were someone who listed their home actively for sale and had a buyer find it and come to them and sell the property. It's not the best decision. It's not a great idea. So again, why? Why would you go after FSBOs? They don't want to hire an agent. They're trying to save the commission. Yeah, but you know they want to sell. And you know they're going to sell for less if they don't use an agent. You know they're going to make less money on average if they don't use an agent. We know they're ready now because they're actively on the market. And if they're any good at marketing, they're going to have a phone number that somebody can call if they're interested in the home. That's what we call. We get that number. You have an opportunity to show why you're different and why you might want to trust an agent, why you might want to interview for the job, why you might want to give me an opportunity. Just do me a favor and do not lie to a for sale by owner and tell them you have a buyer just to get in the door. If they ask you, do you have a buyer? I want to bring, he goes, if you bring me a buyer, I'll pay you. I said, well, here, I completely understand that philosophy. And I'd love to bring you a buyer, but do you know what would be better than me bringing you a buyer? What's that? I said, me bringing you multiple buyers, me bringing lots of buyers through your door and getting you more than what you're asking for your property and keeping more money in your pocket. That would be better, wouldn't it? It would. So I don't want to just bring you one buyer. I'd like to bring you more than one buyer. But the only way we do that is by talking about what those next steps would be. And for sale by owners, even if you don't get the business. So here's the goal with for sale by owners. Help them. Help them sell their home on their own. Once they realize everything it takes to sell their home on their own, they're going to want to hire someone to help because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So they're going to want to hire someone to help them. Who's the person they're going to hire? The person who has helped them along the way and they can't do it anymore and they hire you. So help them. Hey, give them a contract. Give them a property disclosure. Connect them with the title company. Give them a seller proceeds estimator. Help them out with, tell them, hey, you want my photographer? I'll give you my photographer. Yeah, they cost this much. Call your photographer. Tell them, hey, this is for sale. Make sure you charge them. I'm not paying for it. Give them an inspector. Get a pre-listing inspection. Do all of the things and tell them to do all the things that you would do. But just do not lie to them and tell them that you have a buyer. So it's a great opportunity also to have conversations. This is where I started. When I started in this business, I started calling for sale by owners. I had a listing within the first 30 days. Some people said, well, you got lucky. I did, but I didn't. Luck would be if I tripped and fell and all of a sudden this guy goes, do you want to list my house? No, I worked for it. I sat down, I made phone calls. I called. I finally got somebody who said, hey, yeah, I got it up for sale by owner. I have a friend who's probably going to buy it. And I'm meeting with him. This was like a Tuesday. I'm meeting with him on Thursday. If he doesn't buy it, I'm going to explore listing the property. I said, oh, I'd love to interview for the job. When can I follow back up with you and check in with you? Well, I'm meeting with him on Thursday. Excellent. Should I call you Thursday evening or should I call you on Friday? If I don't text you or call you on Thursday, call me on Friday. Perfect. He sent me a message. Guy's not buying the home. When can you come by? I'm setting interviews. So when would you like me to come by? Are you available tomorrow or Saturday? Yep, went over. Went through the process. First listing ever, first deal ever. Went through the process, interviewed for the job, did the presentation, interviewed other agents, hired me. He goes, yeah, you told me that I could get more for it than anybody else did. Everybody else is like 122, 120, yeah, 122,000. This is when homes back in 2014, you could buy one for 125,000, 1,400 square foot, 3.2. 126.5. We sold it for 127 after less than 10 days on the market. Then got another for sale by owner within the next month, and then got another one before the end of 2 months after that, and then had buyers that I was working with in between that. So the for sale by owners are great opportunities. They're less abrasive than expired listings. Expired listings might be pissed off at agents. They might be frustrated with agents. For sale by owners, they get frustrated with agents because there's a lot of agents calling them. You just have to be the one that calls them more. You can't just call them once. Same thing like expireds. You can't call them once. This is building rapport and connection and trust. You have to keep calling. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. How do we get for sale by owner numbers? How do we get them? Driving by neighborhoods. Remember I told you they put their help wanted signs in their front yard. They may not put it anywhere else. For sale by owner websites. There are for sale by owner websites. Zillow is probably the biggest place. You have to go to other listings whenever you search for homes to buy a home that are for sale. There's other listings because the listings they show you are agent listings. You have to check other listings. Facebook Marketplace, Nextdoor, Craigslist, different real estate sites, classified ads. And if they're not on something like Zillow, because Zillow owns home search. We'll give them that. They own the home search. We own the home find and contract to close. They own home search. We own home find, meaning they own the search. That's where everybody's at, looking, find everything. When you're ready to find the right home, do the research, do the diligence, then get to a contract, that's where we come in. We own home find, navigate, negotiate to closing. If they're not on Zillow where everybody else is, they're obviously not in the right place. So help them. Your job is to help them. But that's where you can find for sale by owners, have the conversations, reach out and touch base with them. What is the hardest task that a for sale by owner says they have? Getting the right price, handling the paperwork, number 2, selling within the desired time frame, number 3, preparing the home for sale, number 4, and then having time to sell, finding buyers, helping buyers. So they're not worried about all those things. So it's not about, they're going to tell you if you bring me a buyer, but they're not worried about the buyers. They're worried about getting their price. They're worried about how do I manage the paperwork once you have the buyer? What do you do? They're worried about selling in a desired time frame. That's what they're worried about. How do you provide value to for sale by owners? Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. What are you doing when you follow up with them? We have a for sale by owner guide. Did you know that? We got a for sale by owner guide in Moxie. I'm sorry, in Dotloop. Go into Dotloop, you can search for a for sale by owner guide. You also have help in Beggins University under the for sale by owner section. There's lots of data and information in there that you can use to follow up with them. We also have our Beggins marketing package, the 2026 Beggins marketing package that you can send to Beggins marketing presentation. Send it to them. Here's everything we do. Take everything we do and you go do it. Your property will probably sell. But I know you're not going to do it because you can't do all of the things that we do. Some of the things you absolutely just cannot. Other things you just can't do it because you don't know how. And other things you just won't do because you don't know what it takes to sell your property. So get in front of them and continue to build and provide that value. Keep working. Closing. Ask for the appointment. Ask for when's a good time I can come by. Everything is when's a good time I can come by and see the property. When's a good time I can come by and see the property? Go through your scripts. Your scripts are very much like the expired listing scripts. I see that you're trying to sell your home on your own, and I was just curious, when do you plan on hiring agents for the job of, when do you plan on interviewing agents for the job of selling your home? Well, I'm not. I'm trying to sell it on your own. Understood. How long do you plan on trying to sell it on your own before you think you might take a different approach and interview agents? Oh, some of them will come right now and say, well, I'm just trying this for 30 days and I'm going to interview agents. Excellent. Would it be okay with you if I checked back in 2 weeks to see how things are going? I'll send you over some more things to help you out to get it sold. So hopefully you get it sold in 30 days. And then if it's not sold, then after that, can we schedule some time after that 30-day mark to do an interview? Ask them, how long do you plan on doing this before you decide to hire an agent? Some are already have it in their mind. Some are going to tell you right away, yeah, I'm going to do this for this long. Here's some more. Hey, is this the property owner for 123 Any Street? I saw your house go up for sale, and I would know you're selling it on your own. I was just curious if you're open to working with a buyer's agent. If an agent brought you a fully qualified buyer. So, oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, great. Have you guys already moved, or are you still living in that home? Okay, I got it. So, when this home does sell, where do you guys plan on going to? And they're going to keep giving you info. Very cool, very cool. With the market being so good right now and the market being the way it is, I'm sure you'll have no issue selling it on your own. But if for some reason you can't, are you looking into other options at all? Well, we might do it in the next couple weeks. All right, makes sense. Well, I'd like to maybe stop by sometime this week and take a quick look at the property. Again, I didn't tell them I have the buyer. I just said, are you open to paying a buyer's agent if somebody had a fully qualified buyer? So when can I come by to see the property? That's always the goal, to get in person. The facts are, when you see the statistics show that people work with, it's 60% of the people work with the first agent they come in contact with. The number jumps up to over 80%, 85, 87% work with the first agent they meet in person. So every single one of these, your goal is to get in person with them. That's why your sphere of influence is so valuable, because you've already been in person with them. Expired listings, when can I come see the property? Got to get in person, got to get in front of them. The for sale by owners, got to get in front of them, got to get in person with them. And then it's about developing out the relationship, providing the help, giving the for sale by owner listing packages, giving them the marketing presentation, showing them all the things that they're missing and that they may or may not be doing that will help them sell their home faster. That is the focus and that is the goal. Okay? We're going to keep pushing forward. Remember, we talked about the 100-day effect. This is just the process. We need a mixture of lead generation and marketing that's going to get us to an opportunity, because it's going to take, on average, once you get a lead, about 100 days to close that lead. So you need to start talking to people now. You need to get the right mindset around lead generation. We need to start talking and planning for who you're going to talk to and have a focus of who you're going to talk to. Commit to it for at least 90 days. That is the focus, okay? So your absentee owners are our next opportunity for business. So who is an absentee owner? An absentee owner is somebody who owns a property that it is not their primary residence, which means it's either a vacation rental, a rental property, a second home, an investment property of some kind. It's a property that is not their primary residence. So when you see the tax records, you're going to see 123 Any Street is the property address for Riverview, Florida. The mailing address is 127 Any Street over in Pensacola, Florida. So they live somewhere else, they have their mail going somewhere else, and this is a secondary type of home, whether it's an investment, whether it's a vacation home, a second home, whatever that is. So why would we want to focus on absentee owners? Why would they possibly want to sell? Well, a lot of them have owned properties for quite a while. And when they've owned these properties for quite a while, what have we had over the last 6 years? The highest amount of appreciation we pretty much have ever seen in a time frame. I mean, in Florida, you're looking at like 80% appreciation, some places 100% appreciation of properties, anywhere from 60 to 100% appreciation of properties over 6 years. They're sitting on a lot of money. Some of them are tired of being landlords. They just want to sell. They got equity. Other people got into being a landlord not knowing what it was like to be a landlord. They want to get out. Other times they own these vacation homes rental properties that are vacation rentals, it costs a lot of money right now. Insurance went crazy, right? If you're in a vacation rental area or a vacation area, second home area, it might be in a flood zone, might be something that they're paying more for. Insurance has gone up, maintenance has gone up. They have some big repairs potentially coming up. They're tired of being landlords. They're not making the money they used to. Their taxes went up. Everything has gone up and their cash flow has gone down. Everything has gone up, and the holding costs of the property, since they're not renting it if it's a vacation or second home, and their holding costs have gone up and they don't want to afford or don't want to pay for it anymore. So there's a lot of other reasons, but let's say they don't want to sell. Why else would we talk to them? Are you enjoying your investment property or your property in 123 Annie Street in Apollo Beach? Yeah, I actually love that property. It brings me a lot of cash flow. Oh, you love the property in the area there. Would you be interested in buying others? I come across other property owners who are looking to sell. I've been talking to a lot of people like you who are not happy with their investment. Would you be interested in selling? Right? So this is possibly a threefold. The seller may want to sell, or the owner may want to sell, the absentee owner may want to buy another investment, and if it's an investment property or rental, there might be a tenant inside, and you could discuss with the tenant about buying. So you have a homeowner who may want to sell, a homeowner who may want to buy more, and a tenant who may want to buy a property. So you have three, you have the trifecta here of people that you can talk to. So a lot of them are motivated. Like I said, when we start seeing how much costs went up, plus if anybody's on social or has any real estate influencers that they're listening to or that they've heard over the last 5 years, 6 years, they were telling people to go buy properties, rental properties, where they're making $300 to $500 per door. $300 to $500 per door, $300 to $500 per door. Buy a property, if the cash flow gives you $300 to $500 per door, you're good. Well, what happened over the last 6 years? Their taxes went up $1,200. Their insurance went up $1,200. Their maintenance went up $1,200 a month, and this is a year. That's $300 a month right there. $300 a month, there's your $300 to $500 per door. You're not making money, it's costing you money. Then you have vacancy rates. Then you have damages that somebody put, not just maintenance on the property, regular maintenance, damages that somebody caused. You have a lot that goes on here. So we have some motivated sellers that are absentee owners. But we also have some absentee owners who are very astute and smart, who have great investment IQ and may want to buy more. And you can get them onto your VIP property list because you're talking to other homeowners just like them who don't like their investment. Would you be open to it if I brought you an opportunity? Absolutely. Yes, I would. Right? Where do you find them? You find them in Stellar, but you don't search absentee owners. What you're going to do is you're going to use Stellar and use IMAP or a paid service. I'll show you, but you can use Stellar and go to IMAP. And one of the options is to search properties where the property address does not match the mailing address. And when you find a property where this is the property address and the mailing address is different, we know that that's potentially an absentee owner. Then you could take that property address and go to the Who's Who tool and find a contact for them. If you're doing it local in one of your areas, you can go directly to that property, put something on their door. You can create a mailer for that property. You can also use a paid service. Remember I told you, you're either going to pay for a lead with your time, effort, and energy, or pay for the lead with a referral in the back end. So you can pay for a service to give you absentee owner listing leads. Title Toolbox. Paramount Title has a tool called Title Toolbox. It will identify absentee owners. You can pay for a list. So if you have any questions about that, reach out to India, Megan, Lisa about Title Toolbox. They'll send you some info on that and help you out with Title Toolbox. But you can get all of this information for absentee owners. Again, you want to create a hot sheet. Wherever you get them, pull that list, turn that into a hot sheet, have your follow-up columns where you know when you follow up with them, keep touching base with them because these are not just one-time calls. These are follow-up, 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 follow-up. Add notes, build rapport, know who you're talking to, have the discussions. But again, we know that there's a lot of pain points and we just need to call to figure out what that is. How do we figure that out? Ask questions. How long have you owned the property? How's it been for you? How's the investment been? Has your rental income come? How do you know that you're getting the most amount of rent for your property? Have you guys shopped around your insurance recently? I might be able to find you some better deals. You're just calling to have conversations and build rapport. That's the whole point. Provide value. If somebody bought it as an investment, they are there. What kind of value can you provide to them? Your value is save you money, make you more money, put more money in your pocket, get you out of the situation you're in so that you can make more money and maybe buy something else or invest in something else. Go live the life you want now that you have some more additional income. That's really what we're looking to do. So here's some simple scripts. It's like, hey, John, I'm calling about your property in Riverview, and I was just seeing if you still own that property. Now, we've seen some really interesting shifts in our market here, and I was just curious, are you satisfied with that investment there? Are you happy with the investment there? And he says, yes. They're saying, oh, that's great. So I'm talking with other investors who aren't so happy with it, and they're ready to get out. Would you like me to add you to my VIP property list so when I come across them, you have an opportunity? Or no, you're not happy with it? I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, when's the last time that you've had a market analysis done on the home to make sure you're collecting the most amount of rent? Or when's the last time that you've really explored all of the options to try to save you some money, maybe on insurance or some things like that? So we want to be able to bring some value to them. All right, moving on so we can make sure we stay on time because we've got 30 minutes. Open houses. Open houses, great opportunity for business. There's a right way and a wrong way to do an open house, which we'll get into in a minute. Lead generation number 4, a day when the members of public are invited to tour a home as an opportunity to try it before they buy it. They're very public events, so this is just a disclaimer. You're inviting strangers into a house. Be sure to stay connected with your office. If you're doing an open house, make sure that somebody knows where you're going to be so that you can stay safe. There is risk to this, so just make sure that you are letting people know where you're going to be and make sure that it's made public. Why are open houses a good thing and a good reason to build business? Well, number one, they could generate leads. It gives you an opportunity to show your value and show your expertise inside of a neighborhood. Gives you opportunity for awareness because you can create content, create events, put flyers, have signs, have things like that. Put a lot of things out around the house, make new connections, have conversations. It's a great chance for you to try to see what buyers say when they come into a house when there's no pressure, so that you can understand how buyers kind of look at properties when they go through, and you can really just connect with them in a different light. So when we're doing open houses, there's a right way and a wrong way. So to acquire the opportunity for an open house and acquire leads doing an open house, the right way and the wrong way to do it. The wrong way, put a sign in the yard, wait for people to come. You have no control over how many people show up to an open house. None. It's completely passive. You have no idea if you're going to get your connections or not. You just wasted your time sitting in that house hoping somebody comes by. So your job is to generate leads. How is that a prospecting opportunity to generate leads? It's not. It is you just sitting there hoping. And hoping is not a strategy. So your strategy with an open house is to do it the right way. The right way to do an open house is to schedule it with our listings department. They'll make sure it's on MLS, Century 21, every other site that's out there. They're going to put in the day and the time. Schedule it early enough in the week, at least by Wednesday. What does the open house do when it's in MLS and on Zillow and all those sites? It triggers the buyer with a notification. Anybody who has that search saved, hey, open house this weekend. Hey, open house. Hey, open house. Don't forget about our open house. It lets them know. So number one, we do that. Number two, throughout the week, how can we ensure that we will have conversations at our open house? We can't ensure we'll have them at the open house, but I can ensure I will have them today. And how do I do that? I go into the neighborhood. I walk into the neighborhood with flyers and I go knock on doors and talk to every neighbor who's outside walking around, and I invite them to the open house on Saturday, Sunday, whatever day it is. Have the conversation, invite them in. Invite them over. Hey, your neighbor's property just came on the market and we're having an open house this weekend. It's for sale for this amount. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath. And I was just curious if you had some time, if you'd like to stop by, or who you know that might be interested in buying that home. How about you? How long have you guys lived in this neighborhood? Can you tell me a little bit more about why you chose this neighborhood? I'm going to be talking to a lot of buyers that come through, and I was curious, what's your favorite part about this neighborhood? You'll find the good, the bad, and the ugly. But then we have conversations, and it's always invite them over. Then the right way, again, do the open house, get the schedule in, go talk, go knock on the doors, because I can only guarantee the conversations I create. So if I'm typically needing 10 conversations a day, 20 a day, I'm going to go into the neighborhood earlier in the week and have at least 10 that day on Tuesday. Go in and maybe make sure I have 10 to 15 that day so I can make sure my conversations for Saturday's open house are already covered. If people come, great. If they don't come, oh well. But the right way to do the open house, then create an event. Put it on social. Make sure you invite people on social. Go create an event, put it out there. Put a few bucks behind it if you want. Do a quick little boost, put it out so that you can invite people. The day of the open house, put a ton of signs. Find the busiest road closest to the house. Have at least 10 to 15 open house signs. Put 3 or 4 on either side of the entrance that people are going to see. And then put the direction signs that go to the open house inside and make sure that people know where the open house is. Sounds silly. But every little thing gathers attention and creates another conversation for somebody who walks through the door, so I can try to get more traffic. But you need to guarantee conversations, which means we need to have conversations beforehand. Knock on doors, talk to the neighbors, talk to the people in the area. That is what our focus is for an open house. So we got it. Invite a lender to co-host the open house with you, safer, and they often provide snacks. Absolutely, they usually do. And they've had neighbors bring buyers to check the property out. Yeah, what about, it's Pick Your Neighbor Day this Saturday. Hey, Mr. Neighbor, it's Pick Your Neighbor Day this Saturday. Who do you know that would be interested in buying or selling or moving into the neighborhood? It's Pick Your Neighbor Day on Saturday, bring them by. Right? Then after the open house, I guarantee I get more conversations. How do I do that? Follow up with all the people who came, but I'm going to go back into the neighborhood and I'm going to knock on all the doors and talk to all of the homeowners who I invited who may have come or may not have come and say, hey, I'm sure you saw we had quite a bit of traffic. We had a few good buyers that came through the door. That home did not meet their needs. Whatever that home was, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, whatever it was, their home might be a perfect fit now. So yeah, that home was only a 3-bed, 2-bath. They were really looking for something. What does their home have? 2-story, more bedrooms, more space, bigger yard, pool, whatever they have, that's what the buyers may have been looking for. Your home might be a good fit. Have you guys ever considered selling? And if you've ever considered selling, yes, no, maybe. So have you guys considered selling? So again, it's really whatever that home probably wasn't a good fit. Your home might be. We had plenty of buyers through the door. They absolutely loved the neighborhood, but the home didn't work. Your home might be a good fit. Have you guys ever considered selling? We may have a buyer in the pipeline ready, willing, and able right now. And then post social, like we talked about. Invite your neighbors. Call your friends. Hey, I'm going to be in your neighborhood. I'm going to be around the corner from you. If you're not doing anything, stop in and say, hey, this is your opportunity to market. Yes, we prospect, but we also market. We need the balance of prospecting and marketing. So right ways and wrong ways to do the open house. Make sure you're doing the right way, guaranteeing conversations for your open house, because we never know who's going to come in and who's not. We talked about some of these scripts. We kind of talked through some of those as well. Here's our open house guide. We do have an open house guide that you can review as well. Make sure you get it into listings. Make sure you schedule the best times. Make sure you get everybody aware. Make sure it goes on to MLS and Century 21. And then make sure that you're at the open house when you say you're going to be. Quick little tip. If the house goes under contract before the open house, still hold the open house. I know so many people that want to stop working when the house goes under contract. You put it on MLS. It's on Zillow. It's on all of those sites. Even if we take it down right now, it may not come down till tomorrow just because of the way their sites work. So the public is going to see that. The neighbors are going to see it, especially if you already went in the neighborhood and knocked on doors, and they're going to wonder why the open house isn't done, why you're not there. You said you're going to be there. It's online still. I still see it in a few sites, and they're not there. You don't do what you say you're going to do. Hold the open house. Keep the open house going. Talk to buyers. Talk to everybody that's around there. Let them know. What better opportunity to tell people that you sold a property, and they may have an opportunity too if they were interested in selling. So here's a quick tip. What do we have? What is one of our biggest challenges with open houses? Jimmy, making sure there's still snacks for them and we don't eat them all before they come. That's my problem. I I eat all the snacks before everybody comes. So biggest problem, make sure there's snacks for everybody when they get there. Well, one of the biggest problems that we have with open houses is getting people to sign in. Number one, it's a safety thing. The seller has requested that everybody who walks through this door, they have a piece of contact from them. I need to be able to contact you if you walk through this door. Right? So most people, what do? Make up a phone number, put the wrong phone number in, put the wrong email address. Here's one way you can do it. Use Moxie's sign-in page, and when they come in, open it up and have them put their own information in. Have them type it in so that way there's no penmanship. Wrote this, is that a T or a J or an F? Is that a 9 or a 0 or a 7? There's no question because they're typing it. That's one tip. Another tip, if you want their contact, everybody uses their phones, right? And everybody has social on them, right? Most of them, right? So, quick tips. Before the open house that week, shoot some videos of the features and benefits of the open house. Keep them short. Nothing crazy. Just keep them short. Those videos you're going to post to social. Post them onto your social page. Just quick little videos and awesome stuff about that property. They don't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be anything. That's not the point. Then we're going to take that video and from your social, and we're going to take the link to that video, and we're going to create a QR code for it. And you're going to take that QR code, which is going to be a link to that video, and you're going to make a little flyer. You're going to put it in the house at that feature and benefit, master bathroom. Don't forget, it's got this. You tell them about that. It's got an on-demand water heater and blah, blah, the heated floors, whatever it is, you put that into that video. Put the QR code with the little video that says, scan me for often missed features and benefits of this bathroom. You don't want to miss this. They scan it. What happens when they scan it? It opens up the link. It brings them to your social media page. When they're on your social media page and they watch your video, what do you get a notification of on that video? These people watched your video. It gives you their name. So now I have their name and a link to their social page. They can only watch the video if they have a social page typically. So now I don't have to worry. Now I can send them a direct message on social media, and I know they're going to get it because I know it's correct because they watched it and it came from their social. So that's a way you can make sure that you get the traction of the people through the door. And the goal, look, an open house, the goal of the open house is not to sell the house. When a lead calls in on a property, they very rarely ever buy the property they called in on. When a buyer goes to an open house, they very rarely buy the open house that they went to see. The goal is to get the lead. The goal is to get the person, get their contact information so you can start following up with them to become the most valuable person in real estate in their world. That is the goal. That is always the goal of the open house. So the goal is not just to hold the open house, it's to create the conversations. That's why we knock on doors. We will have people come through it. We go knock on doors afterwards so we can make sure we generate the content for the open house and have those conversations. Got tons of opportunities through this to be able to connect with more people for the open houses. What do we got? We got farming and social left. Good. All right. So next, we're going to breeze through these two. Farming. Farming is more of a marketing with the opportunity to do some active prospecting. But farming is more marketing because we're going to people who own homes. We just don't know if they're buying or selling, and we don't have the connection with them because we don't have the rapport. They're not in our sphere. We're trying to get them into our sphere so we can build our sphere so that we can own this market and this neighborhood as ours, and we can become the neighborhood expert for everybody in that neighborhood. Quick story about farming. Awareness is worth more than anything. There's a study they did where these surveyors came into a neighborhood, knocked on all the doors in the neighborhood, asked people to do a quick little survey. They did a survey with questions. One of the questions was, who is the #1 real estate agent in this neighborhood? Asked people to fill it out and answer it. The surveyors went through and looked at those answers. There was more questions than that. They weren't all real estate. That answer one question, there was not one person that stood out as the majority. There was just random names and people that were in that neighborhood. They went and they created a fake real estate agent name and brokerage. They started doing flyers and mailers into the neighborhood, one a week, one per week for 8 weeks. 8 mailers, 8 weeks in a row. They went into the neighborhood afterwards and did another survey and asked a question. That same question was on the list. Who's the number one agent in the neighborhood? The fake real estate agent who never sold a home was the number one majority real estate agent in the neighborhood, strictly because of awareness, because they saw him 8 times over the last 8 weeks in the mailer. Not everybody said it, but the majority of them did say that. So now we went from nobody's perfect, nobody's the greatest, nobody's the majority, to we have a majority owner who's never sold a house, never been in real estate, doesn't even exist, and they couldn't find him if they needed to because it doesn't exist anywhere. Okay? So farming is a great opportunity to create awareness. We're trying to cultivate leads in a specific neighborhood through prospecting and marketing activities to become a known resource. You do have the opportunity to generate leads. You have the opportunity to find names and phone numbers. You can go in and you can pull all of the neighborhood data. You can pay for a service or you can go do it on your own. Either one is fine. You have the ability to pull all of that data, the names of each person who owns and their addresses, and then go skip trace who's who and get their names and phone numbers. You again, go to Title Toolbox, you can pay for that. Go to another service, you can pay for it, but you can also do it without paying for it. And then your job is to start connecting with them. This farming is not just about mailing. If I got dropped into some random area, this another agent says this, if I got dropped into some random area and knew nobody, what I would do is I would pick one neighborhood of 200 to 300 homes. I would knock on doors every single day until I got a listing. I would find the neighborhood that has the highest turnover rate, greater than 5% turnover rate. Find out how many homes in the neighborhood, make sure that 5% of them sell every year. Anything that's 5% or higher is a good turnover rate. So you're looking for 7 to 10%, 7 to 12%. So find a neighborhood with a 10% turnover rate. That's a great turnover rate. Knock on doors until you get a listing. Knock on doors till you get a listing, and then I would go knock on every door and hold that property open, inviting all of the neighbors to that listing until it sold. And when it sold, I'd go tell all the neighbors about that listing and get another listing. And I would do that repeatedly over and over and over. So this can be a prospecting avenue. If you treat it that way, the majority of you just won't. But if you did, you would create a huge presence in a neighborhood and become the neighborhood expert very quickly. So you can generate leads, you can show expertise, and you can provide value. Keep building your brand. You got consistent marketing and prospecting opportunities that will last a lifetime if you continue to build it. So you want to find a neighborhood that's about 200 to 300 homes. Any more than that's too much. Just too much to handle. It's too much to manage doing all the door knocking, all the delivering, all the mailing, everything that you're going to do. Find something that's desirable, meaning buyers want to be there. It's got different things in there. It's got good size options. You're not kind of buckled into just these one type of homes. You have a spread and a range. It can create some bit of a niche as well. Competition could be low. Average sale price is going to get you the money that you want so that you know that, okay, I get to pick my price, so let me go somewhere where the price point matches what I'm looking for. And turnover rate, 5% or greater turnover rate is what we're really looking for. So the success, when we analyze all the factors that determine a successful farm, a 5% turnover rate is or better. Take all of the homes in the neighborhood, the number of homes that are in there, and then find the number of homes that sold and do the simple math. If there's 1,000 homes and I want a 5% turnover rate, 1% would be, if 1,000 homes, 1% would be 10, 5% would be 50 homes sold in a year. So if it sells more than 50 homes in a year, that is a good turnover rate. Very simple. So then see how many homes have sold and see if it's less or greater than the 50 homes. Right? You have multiple options. Buy the farm, build the farm. Buy it, spend the money. Just listed, just sold. They don't have to be your just listeds or just solds. You just need to clearly delineate that. What if I went into a neighborhood and I said, I'm going to work this neighborhood. And every time a new listing comes on the market, whether it's mine or not, I'm going to pick up the phone and call all of the neighbors and say, hey, did you see your neighbor listed her property on 123 Annie Street, that 5-bedroom, 3-bath home for $500,000? Did you see that? What do you think of that price? It's just looking on Zillow, and Zillow said it was like this, and I looked at your home, and Zillow said that, blah, blah, blah. Just have conversations. Did you see your neighbor's house went on the market? Did you see your neighbor's house just sold for that? It may have affected the value of your home. Would you be open to having a conversation about that? You have questions. You can build build or buy the farm. You can do just listed, just solds and send them and mail them, or you can just pull the phone numbers and make the calls yourself. Send flyers, have events, do social media advertising, use Title Toolbox to get your contacts. You can buy and spend the money. Or you can work it, knock on doors, find people in there and hold open houses for them, create community events, monitor websites, create a website, create a social media page for the neighborhood, build it all out. Lots of opportunities to buy or build a farm, either one. For you, what do you send them? Well, how many homes are active? How many have sold? How many are under contract? What it looks like this year. Give them market reports, give them neighborhood reports. Looks like, hey, you can pay for these. You don't have to create these, or you can create them. Very easy to create. There's a simple report in MLS that creates a nice little market report for the actives, pendings, and solds, the list price, sale price ratio, and time frame. They're all there. It's in MLS. You can create them and print them out for yourself. Get into the neighborhood. Print the flyers, knock on the doors, hand them out, or mail them. But get into the neighborhood. People need to see your face. You can't farm a neighborhood and be a secret agent. People are going to know who you are. They have to know who you are if you want to generate and build business inside that neighborhood. But a farm is a great opportunity because everybody in that neighborhood either owns or rents, and that is every single home is a potential deal. And when you know that there's going to be 5% or greater homes sold in that neighborhood, how many of them do I want? And then get to work and start having conversations to become the trusted neighbor, the trusted real estate agent in that neighborhood. And it's about follow-up. Last one is social media. Social media is a great lead source generation, except most of you will not do what's necessary to use social media as a lead generation tool. Most of you think you'll post something and that's your idea of generating leads. You'll send a couple messages and that's your idea of making this a lead generation tool. If you want to make social media your primary source of lead generation, you need to really work at this and become a consistent content creator. Doesn't even have to be you, but you have to consistently put out content. You have to consistently be posting. You need to consistently be connecting and communicating with everybody who's engaging with your content, commenting on your content. You have to be consistently reaching out to people, sending direct messages and doing those things. If you're not consistently doing that, there's somebody who says, hey, post 2 times a day for the next year and you'll never have to work another day in your life because you'll create enough traction, enough people, enough awareness, enough branding, enough things that you can earn some income doing whatever it is you're doing, whether it's in the thing you were doing or even just getting paid through the social content. But you have to be willing to create content, which we have content that you can use already that you can post if you don't want to create your own. You have to be willing to open up and accept new friends, new people, new opportunities. You need to be willing to send messages when people comment on something, comment back, and you need to start building and creating. You cannot be afraid of what people are going to think of you when you put it out there, and you're going to get haters. You're going to have your keyboard warriors that send messages and do things. You cannot be afraid of that. It needs to be done. So what is it all about? It's all about daily engagement. Commenting and liking posts from your sphere of influence, past clients, and your leads. It needs to build and have brand consistency. You need to keep building that out. They need to see it. They need to see you. It needs to be consistent. Direct message outreaches. So you need to be sending messages to people that are liking and engaging with your content. You need to have value propositions for them. You need to be reaching out to them, asking them questions, doing polls, getting a certain level of interest from them. You need to pick people from your CRM and SOI and post content that they would be interested in. It's not about real estate. People don't want to see all real estate. They like you, know you, and trust you, not real estate. They engage with you because of you, not real estate. They have plenty of opportunities to engage with real estate and everywhere else, but they engage with you because of you. So a lot of the content needs to be yourself. It needs to be you. It needs to be you being you because that's what they like. That's what they know. That's what they engage with. That's what they trust. If you just put out just listeds and just solds all the time, you're missing opportunities. And people are cruising right past them. So you need to create hooks. You need to create content that builds awareness. You need to create content that builds attraction. You need to put those things out. You need to have calls to action, polls, ask me anything, live streams, creating events. You need to be doing these. You need to post daily videos, graphics, tags, and position yourself as the expert. This is a full-time job if you are going to use social media. Most people say, I'm going to use social because they hear all this stuff about it, but you do not know what it takes. And you think that doing a couple things and just posting a few things is going to work. It needs to be a full commitment. You need to have a plan. You need to already have it in place. Sometimes you use a system. We have one through Beggins University that for $12.99, you can schedule all of your posts across all of your brands, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. You can schedule all of them out, so it automatically does it. You just create them once, put it in there, it does all of that for you. That way you get the posting done. Then you still have to do the connecting, the direct messaging, the commenting, the reach outs. You still have to do all of those things. And how do you do that? What kind of content are you putting out? Neighborhood posts, neighborhood events, congratulations, real estate stuff, holiday stuff, open houses, financing, calls to action, equity reviews. This is all the real estate stuff. But sometimes people just want to know where you're going to dinner. What are some of the local sports events? What are some of the local family things that you can go to? What's coming up for 4th of July? Great places to see fireworks. They want to see all the personal things. They want to see a day in the life of what you do. What's your morning routine like? Where did you create some success for you on a personal level? Things like that. You have to share things. You have to be real. People engage with people. They don't engage with activities or with ideas. They engage with people. So two people can put the same idea out and they'll engage with the one that's more captivating to them, that they connect with the most. Okay, so we've got all of that. So here's some of your homework. We're going to jump over to some homework really quick. Here's your homework. Start thinking about and picking a lane that you're going to focus on. Are you someone who's more of a prospector? You're someone who's going to cold call, sit on the phone, make the calls. Are you someone who's more content creation? Are you someone who's more, I want to talk to people. I want to hold open houses, knock on doors, and talk to the neighbors? Which one are you? Are you someone who really has a big, great sphere and you could communicate and talk with them? Start thinking of what lane you're going to focus on, have that idea. Then we will start crafting the business plan for working that area of focus. Knowing what your goal is, how many contacts you need to make, and what level and lane you're going to focus on. Always remember, what are your big ass smile goals? What are your 3 things that would have to happen this year for you to feel like it was a success? 3 big ass smile goals: the new car, the investment property, pay off $10,000 in debt, put some money aside, take a trip to this place. Whatever that is, go to a World Cup game. What are the 3 big ass smile goals that you have that you want to achieve this year? Then you need to create your schedule. So your goal is, once you know all this, when do you work? You need about 2 hours a day of prospecting time. 2 hours a day. Generally, that's about what most of us need in order to get our goal. A lot of people want that $100,000 mark. You need about 2 hours a day of prospecting time, generating new income-generating contacts. That is what you'll need, about 2 hours a day. When do you do it? Every business knows when they're open. Every business knows when they're open. They're either open 24 hours because it's online, or you go over to Publix, they're open from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. Go to this other restaurant, they're open from 4 until 11 p.m. They know what their hours are. That's when they're generating income. When do you generate income? What 2 hours a day do you generate income? 10 to 12 a.m., 1 to 3, 3 to 5. What is it? You need to know your schedule. Once you start doing that, then you're going to need to schedule some follow-up time in. So I got my new income-generating activities where I talk to new people. Then I do some follow-up on these days. However many people you need to follow up with, schedule your time accordingly. As you're doing that, you need to schedule your coaching and accountability. So your coaching and accountability is going to be what I say I'm going to do this week. This is what I said I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Next week, I'm going to come back to you and you're going to ask me what I did, and I'm going to tell you I did those things. Here's the challenges I had. Here's the successes I had. Here's where I feel I need to pivot and adjust. I hit my contacts goal. I didn't hit my contacts goal. Whatever that is, have somebody that helps hold you accountable. You have to know what your total number of conversations and appointments that you need are. Very easy, very simple. And connect with your sphere of influence. Everybody, if you're newer into business, your first goal is connect to your sphere of influence. Make the calls, figure out how long it takes to get through your sphere of influence, then pick a lane. If your sphere is big enough and you got tons of them, keep working that sphere and build that sphere and make that your sole focus because they already like you, know you, and trust you. So we had your sphere script that you can use. And then we also have a strategy to make a home equity review. So I'm going to show you a quick little preview of a video.
Hey, Jessica here with Century 21. I just wanted to pop in and give you an annual equity review on your property. There's several reasons that I wanted to do this for you. Typically, someone like a CPA is going to check in every year and give you updates on your portfolio. So I wanted to pop in and give you an update on your investment. It's good to know the equity in your house so that you can either decide to use it or not. But if you do decide to use the equity in your house, there's actually ways that you can pull out some of the equity, make home improvements. You can.
So this was a video that's an equity review. Here's the simple script that you can use. And hey, it's Chris with Century 21. Just wanted to pop in and let you know I can get you an annual equity review. You know, several reasons you may want to do this. And it's just a simple script you walk through and you shoot a video and send this to your clients who own a house or your friends who own a house. I'd love to, instead of saying, can I tell you what your home is worth? Can I tell you, get you a CMA? Let me do an annual equity review for you. But your homework is to connect with your sphere, talk with your sphere, put a video together, make the phone calls, make the text, understand what your goals are, put all of this together, work through all of this, start making your contacts and conversations. And if you're really new, make sure you schedule time with your coach. Make sure you get all of these activities done. I understand sometimes that you need to get a few more things done before you start doing some of this, but your sphere, it's never too early to call your sphere. Hey, it's Chris. I just joined the #1 Century 21 in the Southeast United States. I set some really high goals for myself, and I was just curious, who do you know that I can help buy or sell a home in the next couple months? Who do you know that's moving up, down, or around? Who do you know that's looking to invest? I've got some great opportunities that have just come across and some great loan programs that help buyers get into properties with little to no money out of pocket. Or if your buyers if you know people waiting for interest rates to drop, I have builders that are given, 4.95 to 4.99 interest rates. Have those conversations and discussions. Okay. That is our focus for today. It is pick a lane. We need to be generating contacts and conversations. Know what you want. Know why you want it. Take massive action. And then pivot and adjust, which means you're being held accountable. Know what you want. Know why you want it, take massive action, know what area of focus you're going on, take massive action, and then pivot and adjust. Okay? Happy Friday. It is 12 o'clock. It is July 17th. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you next time.